Sketch the region corresponding to the statement, the probability that z is greater than 1.2. So if you take a look at this tool, you have an arrow at the base that you can move around, which is accurate to a single decimal place. So we're looking for, this is a z-score axis. So all of these values are standard deviations from the mean. And we're looking for the probability that z is greater than 1.2. So we just move the arrow to where the z-score is 1.2, and then indicate whether we're trying to do an area to the left, to the right, between, or outside. And this is the probability that z is greater than 1.2, so that would be area to the right. And that's all you have to do. It will mark your answer as correct based off of that shaded region. In the next portion, that's where we need to find the probability. So now we want to find what area this shaded region encompasses. We'll use the calculator for that. And we go under the second nvars, which takes us to the distribution menu. And we'll use the normal CDF function. So normal CDF, if you're working with z-scores, you can put just 2 inputs, that's fine. It's always lower bound and then upper bound. So the lower bound of the shaded region is 1.2, and then it goes off to infinity. And you can put a lot of different things for infinity. As long as it's something larger than 10 standard deviations from the mean, it doesn't make a whole lot of difference. An easy thing to do, however, is put E99. And that right there just means 1 times 10 to the 99th power, which is really large. And to get the E, you hit second and the comma. You can give it up to 2 additional inputs, a mean and a standard deviation, but just make sure if you do that, that you put a mean of 0 and a standard deviation of 1, since we're dealing with z-scores. But if you just use 2 inputs, it will default to z-scores. So 0.1151. Sketch the region corresponding to the statement, the probability that z is less than negative 1.2. So here I just move my cursor to where I have a z-score of negative 1.2 and indicate if this is an area to the left or to the right. Since we want values of z that are less than negative 1.2, that's an area to the left. So I'll leave this checked, that's my region. Now to evaluate this area, what I need to use is normal CDF again. So second, distributions, normal CDF. But now my shaded region, the lower bound is negative infinity. It looks like -4, but it doesn't stop there. It goes on to infinity. So we'll hit negative E99, or you could put negative 10,000, negative 10. It doesn't really matter, as long as it's at least 10 standard deviations from your mean. And negative 1.2 is the upper bound. So we get 1.1151 again. And the reason for that is that the normal distribution is perfectly symmetric. So there's as much area to the right of this value as there is to the left of the negative of that same value.